there's a button. Okay. Uh, Biology 2 course page, right. I'm going to click here to go to my modules. Bloop. And I've only made one because this is an intense module. Unit 1 plants. I have all of these different things. First, I labeled them all 1 because it's going to help with organization later on. That's a big tip. If you are numbering units, weeks, whatever, I would go ahead and number the quiz, number the page, number the discussion with that number 1. Why? Because over here where it says pages, it's just a collection of all your pages. And I made this cool page, but I can't remember what unit it goes into. So put 1 in front of it. Now, I haven't ran into a big issue with this yet, because when I make a new page, I make it from here. And I make it from scratch. And so, well, not scratch ever. I'm copying and pasting other things. But because I'm making it here, I remember that it went into 1. So I can automatically write 1 with it. Another way to make pages is if you go to the page tab and you just have all these pages. Okay, fine. So there's all these things here with different icons, which means they're different things. So let's look through them and see what they actually are. All right. What is a plant discussion? So normally I would ask students in class and we would have a discussion. They would write in their notebooks, we would share out, we would have this discussion. But I made it as if it was a discussion post. Okay, fine. That's a thing. How do they type? They have to reply. And then they have the option to type in the box. So I have to give them the directions. Click reply to type your answer. That makes sense. Okay. Let's hit next. And the next thing is watch a video, make a definition, go back to your original post and change it. Okay. So I put this in here. Great. And they also have to comment on a peers, but not that horrible like my assignments with college were like, comment on at least 3 peers. But it was like, people would write things like, I agree, this is great. So I wanted something a little more specific, and you have to discuss how well it matches their initial post. So something a little deeper. And I did not give them a number because, you know, you're just chucking stuff out to get to your 3 comments. So I'd rather just have at least 1, and you know somebody's gonna go nuts and like give everybody feedback. Good for them. Okay, next. I'm sorry, I did not tell you what kind of page that previous thing was. Maybe you were curious. That was just a page. It was just a page that I slapped a video in. Okay, what is this? This is a quiz. How do I know? Oh, thank goodness, this tells me over here. I also know because I wrote quiz in the title. Good thinking. And then when you scroll down, you see some things to help you know it's a quiz type. Okay. Well, where's the quiz? You have to hit edit or preview, and then you can actually see the questions. Let's hit preview. Directions. First question, multiple choice, tells me how many points. Okay. Oh, this one they have to type, so it gives them that text thingy. So nothing crazy. It's all multiple choice and then 2 open-ended. Okay. Now how do I get out of preview mode? Keep editing this quiz, sure. Oh, and there's all types of parameters that you can control for a quiz. Do you want to shuffle the answers? Do you want a time limit? Do you want them to take it multiple times? Forget it. Okay, we'll figure that out when we figure that out. But this is what a quiz looks like. Okay, and I'll go ahead and save it. I'm going to go to the next page, which is an assignment page. How do I know? It's under Assignments tab, and submitting helps me know that there's something going on here. Points, okay. I tell them to go to a link to open a textbook to read and answer some questions. Click Submit Assignment to type or record your answer. So they don't initially have a text box to type. So I want to make sure they know how to find it by clicking Submit Assignment. Next. A link to an article, really short article. And then some questions after the article. Now, I usually do this hard copy in class and they can write directly on here. So how do I figure out how to make this digital if we were completely virtual? Well, I just put the questions here and I tell them to click the Submit Assignment button so they can record their work. I don't love the format. I'd still like it to be in that blank for your answer, and I could go crazy and make something in Google Slides, but this works. So I'm going to roll with it. I know that it's an assignment because I'm under the Assignment tab. Okay, next. It's an assignment, but they don't submit anything. Click this to open the reading, read it, and then go outside and pick a leaf. Okay, so what they do is not on the computer at this point. So it doesn't say click submit to open the text box to type your answer because they're not typing their answer. I'm not entirely sure if they still check done or not. Okay, I'll figure that out in the meantime. Next is a quiz. 12 points, no time limit. It's just multiple choice questions. If we wanted to see it, we could hit preview like we did before, or we can hit edit and see what it looks like to edit a quiz. Title. Directions are in here. I don't think I put any instructions in. What parameters do I want to do? But what we really want to know is, show me the questions. So I can click questions here. And I can, pencil is kind of universal for editing. So I can click the pencil and I can edit the question. It's a multiple choice question. Whoa, look at all those options. Okay, this doesn't look like a multiple choice question, but if you scroll down, you'll see the options. Now, why did I use this instead of a quiz in Google Forms that I already had made up? Because I didn't have one already made up. This quiz isn't for points. I don't care about points. This quiz is to give them practice to see did they learn the stuff on the previous pages. That's what the point of this quiz is. It's formative, interactive. They won't get a grade for it. So I just used one that I found in the comments. But if I already had one, I would have totally used that instead. Okay. There is something in the chat and it says, how do you copy paste in Canvas? Okay, gotcha. Ooh, where did I put that? Use keyboard shortcuts. That's your answer. Okay, I'll come back to that. Let's get out of this quiz thing. Alexa, off. Okay, I told Alexa to tell me when it was 8:15, so I didn't talk the whole time. I've shown you a lot of things already, and there's still more in this module. Leaf characteristics. What is this? Video notes that I had previously recorded, so thank goodness they're already done. And then a PDF. Okay, great. What kind of page is this? It's just a page. It's just something to slap stuff into. When in doubt, go with the page. The next thing is an assignment, and it's kind of a lot. It's not like answer 3 questions. This is something we do in class already, and I assign it through Google Classroom, and they have directions, and I provide an example, and I have a template. I am not yet sure the coolest, best way to get them a document that I want them to use as a template and then send it back to me. Google Classroom, it was beautiful. Make a copy for each student. There are ways, and I have not discovered all those ways yet. Here's one quick workaround that I found. They can click on this template, and what opens is the forced make a copy thing. Okay. How do you do that? So you're working on a document, and the last letters say edit. Just change it to copy, and you get one of these. That's it. Who knew? Ever get bothered by people saying, can you share this with me? Can you give me rights to this? Make it a forced copy one. And again, what you do is, I'll even change it to edit, and we should go back to my editing version. Yeah. So this is what you normally see while you're working on a document. You're ready to share them the forced make a copy version. You just take out the word edit and change it to copy. Nice little cheat that I recently found. Don't worry, I did not come out of the womb knowing that. Okay, we're back to the assignment. So this is a big thing for them. So I provided a template. I think there's a rubric somewhere. Next. This is their like final big project where they have to map out trees in their neighborhood. So I slapped in a picture of a rubric. I've got an example. I've got resources, and it is an assignment. Okay, so Friday, I showed you a module that was really just resources. This module's interactive lessons to get them to learn along the way. Just another example of what it could look like. Not the way by any means. So I want to hear from you. What questions about anything Canvas-y do you have? Unmute yourself, shout out.
Clarissa.
Amy.
How did you get that Google Doc in there?
I will go back so everybody knows what we're talking about. And so I think I know what you're talking about. Do you mean this click a template?
Huh?
Okay, so up at the top for assignments or pages or whatever, again, pencil usually tells you to edit. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. And if it was blank and I just opened this page, I would still have that edit, and that's where I would go first.
Okay.
And then I type in the title,
right?
And I type in my words, and I typed click this link. I grabbed a copy of the link that I had copied. You know, we copy links all the time. I highlighted it, and then these links are to link. So I would, and it tells me when I hover over it that it is to link a URL. And I don't remember the last thing I copied, so I'm just going to go with the safest website I know, Google. And I can click insert link. And it does that little flash thing when it inserts something.
Right.
And then if I click off of it, I can see, sure enough, it is a hyperlink.
Okay. Because I think in the training on one of the days, we were asking about like how to get things from like like if I have a Google Doc already created or like something that I want to show up on the page. And I was trying to get it, but the only thing that it would give me as an option was things that were already on my computer. So it would give me like files, you know how like down in the sidebar that's on the left where you can choose a folder. So I didn't know how to get things from my Google because when you're making things in Google, you have the little.
Got it. So you found how to upload things that you already had saved on your computer, but
Yes.
it's in Google. It hasn't been downloaded. Just provide the link. I think that's
Okay.
the simplest way. If you don't want to do it that way, you could always download that Google Doc as a PDF, save it to your desktop, and upload the PDF. But
Okay.
I guess there are always reasons, but your initial thought is, why do more steps?
Right. Right.
So yeah,
Especially since our kids have Google because we're still a Google school.
that's right. That's right.
So they can open it if it's a Google Doc.
Mm-hmm. If it was slides, I personally like to embed things so that you don't have to go open up a new thing.
Okay.
Personally, I'm happy to talk about that. But heck, who cares? If you don't know how and you don't want to use that brain power to learn how to embed slides, what's wrong with the link? Nothing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other folks?
Yeah, this is an easy question.
Okay.
Where's my Canvas login information? And
Not an easy question, Ernie. It's actually not. Okay. The short story is you don't have your school login yet.
okay,
Then how am I working in this?
yes,
I've made a free account. Now, why don't you have your school login yet? Good question. I was in a meeting with the salespeople and middle school and high school admin, and that was when we were talking about whether we wanted to do Canvas. And we asked the saleswoman, okay, how long will it take to get us up and running? And she said 6 weeks. And she sounded like 6 weeks at best from the time that you hit the button and make the order to the time that we're live. 6 weeks has not passed yet.
okay. So you're doing that free one.
Doing the free one.
When do you just get to move that over when you're done?
Yeah, I will export it.
The whole Canvas workspace that you've already created.
I will export the course.
I see.
You're not linking accounts. You're exporting packages.
Okay. And so all your work will be for something, not for nothing.
It will be for something. Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. And arguably, even if I don't figure out how to export it, I'm learning the process too. And so maybe you don't actually make something that is worth exporting. If you still played around with it to learn the process, that could be beneficial. That's up to your preference on how you spend your time.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I totally wish we had the real thing too. Okay, we'll move on from that. Other questions?
Will you show how to embed really quickly?
Really quickly? I don't know about
Or, well, like if you can show us how to embed. I'm curious.
Now, when you say embed, you're talking about make it so the slides show up on the thing?
Yes.
Easy. Okay. Easy. I shouldn't have said that. That's not fair. File. Okay. I could show you how to embed the coffee and Canvas, but that's a little too meta. So can we just look at some simple slides there? These are not really simple, but arguably. This is actually kind of cool. Me and Mrs. Rich were playing around with making modules in slides for her kids this spring. And this is the stuff that we were doing. Because how in the world do you do math on a computer? Okay. How do we embed? Well, we need to get the HTML embed code. Maybe you've had experience with this if you go to YouTube and you want to share it and you get the computer talk. File, publish to the web. A box opens up. You could ignore a lot of this and go straight to embed. You can select your size or just leave it as is and hit publish. Are you sure? I'm sure. Now I've got the gobbledygook computer speak. I'm going to copy that. And that is what I put into the box. But I have to make sure it's ready to receive computer speak. Okay, I'm going to do that again one more time. File, publish to the web. A box pops up. I'm going to ignore this stuff. I'm going to go to embed. And because I already published it once, I have one less step to go through. But hey, there's my computer talk. I'm going to copy that. Okay, now what do I do with it? I'm going to go back to Canvas. Right now, this is just a place for me to type in normal text. Let's edit it. I think they call it a rich text editor. That's what they call this thing. And now I want to go to HTML editor. So what it does is shows you the code behind it. I'm just going to go up to the very top and I'm going to paste all that computer talk in there. Okay. I'm going to hit save at the bottom. And my slides should be the first thing. And I can click through them. Okay, it looks pretty, but you don't have to do that. If you just want the kids to see the slides, you could always just provide a link to the slides. It's about like what floats your boat and what makes you happy. Okay. Answer your question, Jen?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. And that kind of idea of getting the code, the HTML, to embed stuff kind of works across the board. You get the code from YouTube. You get the code from some interactive. You get the code from Quizlet to embed the game right on the page.
Clarissa, good morning. This is
Good morning,
Sherry.
Sherry.
I have a question about embed versus link. I discovered when I embedded a Google form yesterday that I lost my pretty header and that it looked better when I did the link. Now, another question I have is sometimes I will have a form or a slideshow, and then in teaching it to the first class, I think, oh, I need to make some changes to it and, you know, improve this for better teaching in the future. If I embed it, I would have to re-embed it. Is that correct? It would update it?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have to go back and do anything?
Let's prove it.
And I can see maybe the slideshow being a better embed item versus a link item, but I could be wrong about that. Do you have an opinion on that?
Whatever works for you is my opinion.
Okay.
So I took off all the text on the first slide. And if I'm telling the truth that this updates with us, I should be able to just refresh the page and it knows. Sure enough, page is now blank. So that's a great thing, you know, because your stuff changes. What if you made this and it was so good you just keep rolling it out year after year, but you always edit your slides a little bit? That's kind of nice. It's a live document.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for making me prove it. I'm not a liar. Let's just back up and put all that stuff back. All right, other questions? So, Coffee and Canvas. First day was just like, what in the heck is Canvas? The dashboard. Today, I showed you example module. Ooh, you might like this teacher checklist that I'm linking in here. I almost said embedding, and that would be false. Teacher checklist. This is from Canvas. Maybe you don't worry about all this crazy stuff in the red. It kind of helps to give you some focus to like, okay, what are some of the first things I might need to figure out in Canvas? Go to the yellow level. And then when you're ready, blue and red. And then below, it has links to help you do those things. So I thought this might be helpful to give you some focus because it's overwhelming. There's too many things that Canvas can do that you don't need to know. I don't need to know. Where can you get this document? It's this teacher checklist right here. It's also on the WHS tech page, which I linked up. In that checklist, it mentions, why don't you take a class with Canvas called Growing with Canvas? That's what this is. It's you being a student taking a class in Canvas. So there's some purpose to that, right? It could be beneficial to see what it looks like from the student side, and that could be a way to help you understand what Canvas does. I joined it. I did like 2 things, then I stopped because I wanted to do other things. But there's that. So I'm going to stop recording.